Hi there, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this pattern again, mostly because I had so much feedback on it and you guys are so creative. You came up with so many different ideas for me to try. I just had to try at least one of them and maybe a couple. So what kind of ideas did you guys come up with? Well, I wrote down a list, so let's check it out. My favorite, the first one on the list, is day to evening. This actually got the most comments and upvotes, so I'm actually gonna try this one next. Snap or buttons on the shoulders to make it interchangeable. A lighter fabric, because I made it in cotton so it was a bit heavy. A lighter fabric might be a little more swishy. Somebody suggested putting sleeves on. I don't quite know how I would do this because the front and the back attach right here and I'm not sure how to incorporate the sleeves there, but I have some ideas. Somebody suggested I do it in knit, which would be really wonderful and easier to fit. Also, pockets, of course. Another one, I'm not sure where to put those in. Somebody suggested flannel, making it out of flannel, and that sounds really cozy to me. Widening the shoulders to hide more of that bra gap. Not that I had any much bra showing, but maybe there was a hair. I could probably move it off a centimeter or two. Somebody else suggested elastic in the back to make it less cape-like in the back and more figure flattering, I guess you could say. And the most creative suggestion I had was to make a vest out of it. So instead of full-length dress, maybe chopping it off right at the waist or something like that. So you would have a reversible vest. I really like that one. And I know which one I'm going to do first, and that is the day to evening. That's right. I'm going to take some rayon, which is much lighter than the fabric I used before. I'll have an evening version on one side with this beautiful black rayon, and then a day version with this rayon yellow rose, kind of this interesting and very different geometric print that I've had for a while. So I thought those two would be a good try for this dress. I also want it longer, so I'm going to do about a mid-calf. That makes it probably about 4 inches, maybe even 5 inches longer than the pattern. And if I can't figure out how to put sleeves on or little cap sleeves, I thought it would be really fun to make a capelet. So I have this pattern, V1579, that has been in my stash for a while, and it has this super cute capelet that I think would be really fun with these two fabrics. I think it would look perfect, especially with the evening dress. And I can also use it for different outfits if I want, because it's a capelet. So that's what I'm going to do today. Next step is I'm going to take this fabric down to the cutting board along with the pattern, and let's pull it out and see what we have to do today. This pattern is available on the Simplicity website. When I bought it, they were having a $3 sale for the Simplicity patterns, and I would strongly advise you to wait for another sale. They have them all the time, and the pattern is $14 right now, so I don't think it's worth it for that. It is not downloadable. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is add that length that I wanted, and I measured my calf. I will need an extra 9 inches if I want this hem to fall mid-calf length. So that's just about there. What I'm going to do is go ahead and mark that. I've got it on the fold line here, so I'm going to mark it 9 inches all the way along. I want to follow this line, the side line of the pattern. And as you'll see, if I do that, if I match this perfectly, I've got a little issue over here. But since that's in the seam line, I'm just going to go ahead and add like a triangle piece of fabric right there. One thing to note is I made this little trace of my dart, my bust dart, and I like doing this because then when you go to trace your dart on the fabric, you don't have to figure out how to go through the pattern paper. You can just use this and put it in that little recess, that triangle right there, and make sure you figure out where you want your bust dart to end, and then go ahead and just trace around this. I like the way these work. I've cut it all out, and now I'm ready for some dart placement. First, I find the corner where the dart is starts, and I just place that there to match the pattern. There is a right and wrong side to the dart. You can see how close this dart is to the top. That's the wrong side, so you need to flip it over. Get your dart right in the corner, and there, that's your dart placement. Now all I do is I take some chalk and mark your dart, and then once you're done, you have an outline of your dart, and all you have to do now is fold it together, pin it, and then go ahead and sew. So my front pattern piece alterations are done. I put in my darts, and that's all I'm gonna do there. But the back needs a little more shaping. So what I decided to do is to put in a box pleat right around my waist. So in order to do that, here's my back piece. I need to measure from the neckline right in the center there down, and I measured my body already, so I know I need to do this about 17 inches down, including seam allowance. So I'm gonna make a mark right there. So now that I have the center waistline mark, I want to measure 2 inches on either side. So 2 inches to the left and 2 inches to the right. And then I'm gonna fold that over to the center. So I'm gonna take that 2-inch mark, here's the center, here's the 2-inch mark, and I'm just going to fold it over right to the center. And I'll pin that down. I'll do the same thing on the other side. There's my 2-inch mark. I'll fold that over right up next to that other pleat. So I'll go ahead and pin that down as well. And then the only sewing I'm gonna do is right here, and I'll probably hand stitch that, maybe like a centimeter, just to sew these two sides together so that you won't be able to see any of the thread. And then that will give us more shaping on the back side. At least I hope it does. Let's try it out. I decided to make 2 halves of a sleeve and have a keyhole down the front. And this is what I came up with. I made pattern pieces. This is the back and this is the front. It looks like a little bell, but when you put them together, they will form a sleeve with a little keyhole in the middle. And the second thing I want to do is I really wanted pockets, and that was another puzzle because this pattern doesn't have any seams where you would normally put like a seamed in pocket. So the only design I could come up with was something that maybe I can sew on top. These sleeves look so cute together. I hope that they work. This is the front half and this is the back half. What I have to do now is attach the front half to the front of the dress right here. And then I have to do the same to the back. I've actually already done that with the black. They actually attached really nicely right here. I left myself some seam allowance because I am not gonna sew these shoulder seams shut. I'm just gonna sew all the way around here. And I have pockets. These are hard to see because they're black, but in order to place them, I just used the ties to tie the front around my body and then stuck my hands in where I thought that the pocket should go. I then marked that with chalk, and then I used a bit of the yellow fabric to make sure that I had them in the exact same spot. Now that I know this works on the black, the yellow should go together much easier. Once I complete sewing both sides together, I will be able to turn this right side out. Everything's sewn together now, so I'm just clipping my corners, and now the big challenge is going to be to turn it right side out to see if my idea actually worked. Wow, I think this worked. Everything's right side out. This is the front and this is the back. These are the ties that go around to the back. These are the half sleeves with the ties to tie them together on each side. These are the back ties that go around to the front. And best of all, these are the pockets. You can't even see them. They blend in so nicely, but I put pockets on. Now, I haven't tried it on yet. In fact, I haven't finished it. The next step is going to be to attach the shoulders. And here's where we have a little bit of a problem. See how tiny these things are? I think in adding the sleeves, I did a mistake, or I made them too small, but I still have to get these attached, each shoulder attached, so that I can put it over my head. Now, the way that you're supposed to do it is you flip it over. It doesn't matter which way you do this, but I'm going to put my yellow side together. Okay, what you're supposed to do, if my shoulder seams weren't so narrow and weird looking and sewn over, I don't know exactly how to fix that, but this is actually what you're supposed to do. Right sides together, same colors together, attach the yellow like that, push the black out of the way, and you're just supposed to sew these together right here, those two yellow. So then you have these sewn together, and then what you do is you push them inside the black, and then along with the other black, so you've got the two yellows and the black under this. Oh Lord. So everything's stuck in there now, and all you do is fold this over and hand stitch that together. You hand stitch the top, and that's why I decided to use the black, because nobody's going to see my black thread as I hand stitch these together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I might reinforce the shoulder somehow, because these aren't, I don't know what happened. And I have not forgotten about that cape. Maybe you guys have, but I haven't. So this cape, I actually cut it out already. All it is two pieces. Here's the front and the back, and this is the yellow version. So all I have to do is sew these together, much like I did that dress. I sew the yellow together at the side seams. I'll stay stitch that neckline. I'll sew the black together at the side seams, and then I sew them all together and reverse them, and presto, I have a cape. So I'm going to do that really quick. And then it's time for a recap and a reveal. I'll be right back. So it turns out you can get pockets and sleeves onto this pattern. Nobody is more surprised than I am, but proof! I'm wearing a turtleneck underneath. I don't know why. I bet you can't even tell that there's pockets in here, but lo and behold, all I did was trace a pair of pants pockets that I had like this, and then made my own pattern and just sewed it right on top. And there you go, you got pockets. And how about these split sleeves? If I ever run into this issue again and I'm making another smock dress, now I know how to put sleeves on it. I'm sure there are a million other ways, and I'd love to hear your suggestion. But this is what I did. And I think they're kind of cute with a little velvet bow on the side and a little flash of black when you move around, and they're certainly comfortable. And just in case I had any bra showing in the back, well, I think they do a good job of covering that up as well. So split sleeves, pockets. So there's one more alteration I did, and that is the box pleat in the back. I believe that accomplished my goal too of making it less tent-like, because there's a little bit more form back there. I really like it. What do you guys think? Oh wait, I can't forget the cape. The cape was the easiest part of the project. Just in case I want to add some more elegance, or maybe I'm wearing this on a spring or fall day when it's a little cooler, I think the cape is a perfect solution. So that makes this dress day and evening, all season long, but let's check out that black version and see how it looks. And here is the black version. Wow, this is really the ultimate day to evening dress, the ultimate travel dress. And I wouldn't have done it without your suggestions, so thank you so much for that. The lighter fabric and the rayon really will help in the suitcase, because rayon doesn't wrinkle as much and you won't have so much to lug around. I also feel like the lighter fabric fits me a lot better. I feel definitely more comfortable in it. There is something that I thought I could do better the next time that I try this pattern, and that's the keyhole sleeves. I think this gap here is a little too wide. I am so glad I made this cape, because this is a perfect solution. If I want to get ultra glam, like if I'm going to meet royalty or something like that, I can just put my cape on. The thing that I want to do next is figure out how many combinations I can get with these two pieces, because I feel like there might be 6 different ones. So take a walk in the garden with and six out, well, 6.5 outfits if you count the sleeve flip. Which is your favorite?